As we start, I'm going to start with the planet update, and then we'll move into the deservingness and the spiritual Iron Man that we're all experiencing right now. So I thought that was perfect timing for what's going on out in the world. Okay, so let's talk about the planet update, because the planet update is going to kind of give you guys some insight all together. Tonight is kind of a deserving call. I really loved what came out of the message from my guys, and it was just a very you have to pick you, right? And so then I looked at the planets and I could feel them wonky. Anybody feel the wonkiness of Mercury retrograde? It was just over on the 18th. So we're a couple days in now. You might feel it for the shadow window. Mercury retrograde tends to have a shadow week before and after. So if you're still feeling a little bit, it should get better as each day passes from the 18th. But right now, all those planets that were up in Aquarius that I had taught you guys, they've been kind of spreading out and leaving from 7 to 6 to 5. Now there's 4. And the big thing that's going on in the sky that all astrologers, all energy healers are all talking about, and they're all working on is that one of the planets up in Aquarius is Saturn. Okay. And it's squaring, which is a perfect square up in the sky, the planet Uranus. Uranus rules Aquarius, and Saturn is sitting in Aquarius. And without getting into the nuts and bolts of squares and trines and oppositions and everything, it's really just the basics of a perfect square, which is putting very strong, intense energy from each other. So they're kind of battling, yet they both want to be together. So what it does is it kind of creates conflict between responsibility, because Saturn is the responsible, orderly, structured sign, and then independence, which is Uranus, which is, I want freedom, I want to be independent. So you're going to see this instability go on for a little while. Stability and change, right? Or obedience and rebellion, or religion and science, or conservative and liberal, right? Or old, new, past, future. It's this square of what one wants freedom and one wants control. And so that's what's going on in the sky. All right. And so as a result, there's a lot of changes that can occur that you don't want, maybe because of the pressure of one is not the one you wanted, or one is not one side or the other. And so it's just it can kind of show up as changes either you don't want, or changes that might be a little challenging to cope with, right? And so it can be a little bit harder to make positive changes, or it's just going to feel like it's harder, but it's not, right? So the kind of changes that you want to happen, you're going to feel kind of pulled on them, right? And it doesn't mean they're not going to happen. I'm just sharing with you why you feel this. You're like, but things are getting better. But wait, I feel kind of locked up. Wait, and it's this in and outness, right? It's this Aquarian stuff, guys, that I keep sharing with you that's still there. And so it's the same stuff with government stuff people keep asking me about. And so changes in government, corporations, those things are ruled by Saturn, which is sitting in Aquarius, which rules freedom, right? And so changes in government and corporation rules and laws, they could also be restricting you in the public by your choices that you want, and curtail your freedom and hold you back, okay? And so it just feels that way is what I'm trying to teach you guys. It doesn't mean it is. It just means it's a pause, and it's slowing. That Mercury retrograde is hanging, lingering a little bit. But the good news is that this week is going to start breaking that apart a little bit more as we creep into the full moon on Saturday. And so that's what I wanted to bring into you guys. The full moon is on February 27th. It's Saturday, and Virgo is the full moon. So it's going to be a full moon in Virgo. I personally love the sign of Virgo, but Virgo is a little bit tough for some people because it's a sign of perfection and health. Virgo rules health. Virgo rules work and service, physical health. Okay. And so what a full moon typically does, remember, when we get to a full moon, it's about closure, and it's illuminating things we don't see typically in the dark because it's so bright. So it's going to illuminate the world and the things in our personal lives that we haven't been looking at physically and emotionally and those kind of things. So it's going to ask you typically when you get a full moon to put closure to things. closure to old, maybe bad habits physically and emotionally that restrict you in how you serve others and how you can serve others in a new way, but not just others, but yourself. How are you serving you? And that's where this Uranian, Aquarian freedom fighter, the maverick that wants to come out and give everybody this freedom and says, come on, let's go. And hey, here's a new moon, put closure to all that. Let's move forward. So the moon's trying to like nudge us forward. Okay. And that's what's going on. So that full moon is perfect for making changes that are overdue, because it's all about, okay, that's not perfect. That's not clean. That's not what I want anymore. Let's put some closure to that and let's start up. So it's a really good moon for freeing yourself for the burdens that no longer are yours. And none of this stuff is yours. If it's yours in your career or your job, yes, you focus on that. But a lot of the external stuff is not yours, or health things, or family things, or ancient, generational stuff that you're holding on to. It's not your responsibility anymore. So that's what Virgo full moon wants to do. And so when you do this, you're going to make room for like all these new exciting opportunities and positive change and greater independence and freedom of choice. And so that's what's going on. So you're going to feel like, gosh, still we're restricted and tight. Well, these are going to break up a little bit and pull off a little bit. So this tightness, this will be here for a little while, but this full moon is putting closure to a lot of that energy. Okay. And they'll keep breaking apart throughout these weeks to come, the next few weeks. So the question is on this full moon is, are you ready to put your emotional and physical energy closure? Like that's what it's asking for. It's, are you going to put some emotional and mental energy into, it's like your duty to start healing those health benefits from it by letting that go. You will blow your minds when you just let go of the thought patterns that are creating the energy blockages. When we let go of a lot of the energy that blocks us from wanting to move forward, to wanting to have the things we want, which is why the deserving message came from my guides today, because they're trying to say your soul already knows. Yet your programming and the mind and the habits, that's what's holding us back. So that's what all this energy in the sky is doing right now. Okay. So let's go back to the deserving inside your soul, not your no. And it made sense to me. So when I sat and I was kept meditating on it, because I was even struggling with it for a moment. And then I thought, oh, okay, what came in the message is what I hear repeatedly from people. Okay. And this is what I hear all the time, right? I need to know when this will happen, Dawn. What do the planets say, right? When will I find love? When will I find joy? When will I find health? When will I find wealth? When will they, those people that are bothering you, change? That's what I get ongoing. Okay. And so the funny part is I'm like, why are we even asking this question? But it comes up repeatedly. So here's the answer. When you wake up from your programmed show and see that your soul deserves all that you can dream of, that's when you'll know. All that's been going on in the planet right now, it's already been going on. We're just waking up. This is the great awakening we keep talking about. Okay. So you already deserve everything you want. It's just poorly programmed in the mind. That's what's blocking you from it. Okay. And so right now I want you to, in your home, wherever you are all sitting, I want you to say out loud, I deserve it. Okay. Say it. Say, I deserve it. I want you to say I deserve it and feel. How does that feel inside of you? Right? Because deserve, and people get very tripped up with this word. Deserve means in the dictionary to serve, not to be entitled, sit back and go, just bring me all your shit and here, I'm not going to do anything for it. You work hard for the life you have. You work hard for your soul, your health, your wealth, your whatever you're trying to get to. And so you deserve to serve yourself. So my question is what are you serving yourself? Right? Your soul wants to be served beauty and love, and your mind, on the other hand, wants to stick in its broken memories. right? It knows broken memories. That's what the mind wants. It wants ego, and ego wants to be right so it can control the memory. So we're capable, guys, when you think of it from that perspective, of so much more than we settle for. So much more. We are so powerful. We are such powerful spiritual beings, and we're finally waking up to our true powers. And so if I get you guys to wake up to this deserving is inside your soul, you just have to wake it up and say, what do I want? Because I do deserve that. And that's where we're at. I just returned from, a lot of you knew I was gone, from Montana, these gorgeous Montana mountains. And most people are like, oh, it's snowing. Oh, it's this. Well, we went skiing. So clearly it was just the best weather, the best everything. And what's funny about this, and several of you on this call, when I was trying to email you, I was trying to have, we have a class, by the way, on Friday. Those of you who want to join, the medicine wheel, Zodiac Wheels, your medicine wheel, is happening on Friday. So sign up for that, by the way. You need 24 hours to get in if you want to get in. It's going to be super fun. It's just 3 hours on Friday night. We're going to look for healing properties in your chart. But I'm trying to email people this. I was trying to get it set up, and it wasn't working. Okay. And so it was a heavy Mercury retrograde, which is typically, Mercury retrogrades are very nice to me, given my signs. It slows everything down for me. Not so much for this go around, right? I had challenge after challenge with technology, with running through airports, trying to catch planes, miscommunications, disagreements, you name it. Everything Mercury brings, I got it. And so it's interesting because not once did I say, oh, darn it, my life's falling apart again. Like I'm going to be, I'm going to be in a bad mood. I'm just going to sit there, which is what a lot of people like to do, right? We get disappointed. I didn't take any of it personal. That people all around me are crumbling all the time and left and right, and like they're upset and this is upset. I didn't take it personal. And I just paused and I moved back into my happy highway. And because I know what I deserve, right? So their tantrums became irrelevant. And that's what I want this call to be on tonight is, if you don't know what you deserve, you're going to fall into everyone around you having temper tantrums, especially with this square going on, because people are very irritated. They've been irritated for a year, but now they're really irritated. And so it's just getting more and more and more. It doesn't make it wrong. Just it's a time in life right now where the universe source is saying, hey, what do you want? Because I know you deserve everything. So when you experience roadblocks, you guys, and detours, I don't want you to stop deserving your inner truth, or even negotiating it, because it may slow you down a little bit wherever you're at. You guys may have gotten slowed down, or you were on a roll and something was going and it slowed you down to where you couldn't get to it. I just want you to keep moving. Okay. We're all energy, and we have to fill our wells with what serves us. And if you catch yourself getting stuck in the undeserving mode, right? Because that's when you're undeserving. You start letting your knowledge brain get in the way. The knowledge, the know, right? Deserving is in the soul, not in the know. And the know is up here, the knowingness, right? And so that knowledge. So I want you guys to think of it from this way. So if y'all know what the word know, N-O, comes from, right? It comes from to know, K-N-O-W. All right. And so to know, and know, K-N-O-W, comes from the word knowledge. Okay. And knowledge is from learning. Okay. So if you back it up, know, to knowledge, to learning, right? Where are you allowing your learning to come from? Because if it doesn't make me more powerful, I let it pass right through me. That's my knowingness, wherever I'm at, wherever I'm going, whatever I need to know or learn, that's where it comes from. And people ask, how do you stay centered? I don't stay centered all the time, but it's the way I hold myself accountable, because your past traumas and your daily negative screens that no one's exempt from right now, a lot of them just have heavy negativity. Your Debbie Downer family, your Debbie Downer friends, If it's from your you're not okay media, you're not okay, it's constant. Any of these people, you will have, if you're hanging out in these energy field, you're going to start living or have been living a life of undeserving. And so I want you guys tonight, I want all of you on this call to ask yourself, what do I deserve? Ask yourself, what do I deserve? I'm going to answer it for you real quick, okay? Everything. You guys, you deserve everything. That's what you deserve. You deserve all of it. Why? Because that is ascension. That is source energy. That is God energy. That is universal energy. We came down as a soul. We're all energy beings. We're just physical bodies that we were told that are super special. They're not. The energy is what's powerful and special. Okay. And so that is what ascension is going on right now. This is ascension. And we are awakening to our true deserving life. Whatever that life is, it's going to be different, right? For each of you. We are seeing duality happen though, for this exact reason. And this duality that's happening right now on the planet has gotten so extreme where you're either one side or the other, which is what I shared with you earlier, right? It's right or left, it's good or bad, it's liberal or conservative, it's freedom or control. It's these extremes of polarity. And it's the very reason this is happening is to understand that if we are viewing the world and our own personal life or what we are feeling is the same thing. So what we're seeing and what we're feeling are two different things. So we have to ask ourselves, is this what I deserve? Yes or no? That's where we're at right now. We're in this deserving vibration of do you deserve this? And if no, for many of you, your learned knowledge is getting leveled right now for learning relearning, I should say, of expansion. Because a lot of people on the planet have very rough history, very rough pasts. There's not a single person that doesn't. Some are way worse than others, have had really rough lives. And some people have had just challenge after challenge. Whatever that is, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that you have to be open to saying, what I've learned might not be the best for me if I want to live a life of deserving, which is source energy, God energy, universal energy, which is expansion. Because the old energy is contracted and small. Okay. And so this is a huge question for all of you. If you start thinking, it's a big question for many to stop waiting for someone else to tell you whether or not you deserve it. Because your soul already knows. Your soul already knows what you deserve. And the question is can you accept having been taught maybe as what you've learned was just only a program and it's just no longer in service? That's where I want you to start thinking, okay, so if what I was taught just isn't there anymore, it's like, I'm really aging myself. Do y'all remember? It's like playing an 8-track tape, right? On your iPod today. You have an iPod and you're like, well, where does the tape go? You wouldn't even know what to do with none of our kids would know what to do with an 8-track tape. But the funny part of this is that it's out of service, right? This is control and restriction or habituation and normalcy. That's what it was. That's what we knew. That's what we've done. And now we have to move and go, oh, do I want control and restriction, my habitual normal way, or do I want freedom and expansion? These are kind of odd, but I'll take the new reality. Most of the planet is struggling with just saying, I want freedom. I want expansion, period. I deserve freedom. No, that's what they said. No, that's what they said. Who's they? We have to get off the they train and get into the I train. And I'm talking about I deserve it, not they owe me. It's I have to own my life from this point forward, okay? So let's move into spiritual Iron Man, because I think this will help you guys understand where we're going, why this keeps tripping everybody up. If nothing in the external changed, you would still be fine, because it's you living in your fulfilling deservingness of your soul. Okay. And the reason I called it the spiritual Iron Man is because this Aquarian energy feels like catastrophes for some people. It's intense, it's overwhelming. It's still that crickets and chaos energy of hot and cold, in and out, silence to chaos, silence to chaos. And it's the universe and God's way of waking up humanity. Remember, I showed you this is an entire global experience, and we've raised the vibration up off the planet. So when we wake up humanity, one huge blast, if it were just a tsunami of energy and we just had a quick shift, it would be too much for those who are not in training. Because what we're seeing on small doses left and right, like, that's not right. That's kind of weird. Ooh, that's horrible. That's terrible. This has been going on I told you guys, for hundreds of years. We just are awake. Okay. And so if we just turned everything off and went to the new energy, the new vibration, it'd be too much, right? It's like asking you to run an Ironman when you're a couch potato, or even just a random activity person, right? You all know what an Ironman entails. So 1 2-hour event would level you. If you had to go out and run a 2-hour marathon, or, well, maybe you couldn't run it in a half marathon. If you had to go out and swim, 5 miles, if you had to go out and swim or ride the 100-mile ride, it would level you the next day. You would be so sore you couldn't move. And so the reason I bring this up is these sunbursts of Aquarian energy, which is sun in, sun out, the changes that are coming in and out, are energy blasts to help you adapt. Okay. So these silent moments that show up and you're like, oh, what's going on? It feels so weird. And then all of a sudden, it's like your ability to train for this emotional Ironman. You have time to reset and resettle, and then it gets into chaos again. So how do you develop these deserving muscles if you were never taught to exercise them, which is where we're at, right? There's a lot of people out there thinking that the old is just going to change and it's all going to be better. It's not. It's going to change completely. And I keep reminding you guys that, but this is where we're at, okay? So if you were never taught to believe in expansion and things that if I could just get into a machine and heal my body in 10 minutes and everything will be gone, why wouldn't I dream that? You should. If I could, have someone help me with my wealth and I could find my passion, I could go, do what I want to do for a living, and it just doesn't seem logical, you will. These things have to get expanded. If I could have the love of my life, these things that are basic, that are simple for everybody, some person it's easy, some person it's hard, another person. So my point is that we're here exercising our muscles that are not very good when it comes to spiritual expansion. So if you do it in small doses daily until you build your emotional muscles, and then it drips into your mental muscle, and then that mental muscle then affects your physical muscle, right? So it helps if you stay in motion, in forward motion, instead of wanting to go backwards. So that's why these little trips are happening all the time. And a lot of people don't like it. Welcome to my world. I'm an Aquarius anyway, so it's just kind of like natural for me. So this is something that I'm trying to get you all getting you all used to. That's it. I just want you to get used to it and go, okay, so Dawn told me it would be in and out, in and out. That's why, because it's put you into a spiritual Ironman. Okay. And we're feeling this also from the full moon that's creeping in this week. And so be open to letting all your bullshit go. Seriously, you have to. This is when people come and do work with me, and that's what the medicine wheel class is about on Friday, which is everybody's got BS. Everybody's got weak spots inside of them, and it's in their grid, right? It's in their wheel and it's in their personality profile. Doesn't make it bad. It just means you're not good at that. And so we have to look at that. When we fill it in, it makes you more powerful. And so I want you to start asking yourself, can I be completely open and honest about my BS? Like, what do I dance around? What do I want to ignore? What do I not want to be honest with myself? And I project it out to other people or things or experiences to make it their fault. So if I'm mad at them, I don't have to see me. That's what I want you guys to open yourselves up to tonight, because I see clients, and I see friends, and they tell me all the time, right? This is the phrase, it's not my fault, it's their problem. This is not my fault, this problem that's happening, it's theirs. And it's a huge red flag that they're in denial of their BS. That's all that is. It's a red flag. It's like, beep, there's the red flag, and now you know, okay? And so, you can't even notice, I guess I want you guys to be aware of this. You can't even notice another person that's irritating you or throwing a tantrum or being mad or being a Debbie Downer if that irritating behavior doesn't resonate inside of you. And remember the consciousness scale I've showed you guys, which is on the website. So again, you can go see it again. If you haven't saved it, you can save it. You can download it from there. So if you're not resonating at an angry, prideful, scorning, hatred, blaming, humiliating, shaming state, somewhere, even a little sliver right here, you won't even notice it, right? You won't notice people in that place. And because you have to remember that we're all energy consciousness, it always appears to wake you up, okay? And so it's up to you to stop accepting poor behavior from others. And I don't mean tell them to stop doing it. I mean, leave the building, leave the room, leave the environment, leave the thought pattern of the history from your family or generations of stuff behind. It's time to let it go. Your soul, guys, it thrives on truth, thoughts, and things, and that direction, okay? Truth first, spiritual truth. So if you think of it from this way, which direction do most people focus on in their lives? Most people focus on the opposite. They focus on things first, then the thoughts, then the truth direction. That's what most people are used to. What thing do I want? What do I have to think? And then will it be true for me? And focusing on it in a different way, you can look at this and go, okay, what truth, thoughts, and things are is really the opposite direction of body, mind, and spirit. And that's what people focus on. Focus on body, all the things you can touch, things. What thing can I get? What thing do I want? What thing do I need, right? The thoughts to get the thing as after, I'm not getting it very well, so I got to go change my thoughts. And then they want the truth. And it doesn't work that way. If it's truthful inside of you, and then you work on the thought of that truth, the body will just fall in alignment. It'll just fall in line because the body, the mind, and the spirit are already in alignment with vibrational energy to get there. And the body falls right in line and moves with you. So it's kind of like the boat and the oars that I've taught you guys. The body will go, the boat will go where the oars row. The oars are the mind, and the body is just going wherever the oars are telling it. And so it's really important that we start focusing on the important value of that, right? Which is focusing on things like body, money, car, relationships, before you consider what's going on in your mind that's blocking you from it. And then you forget what your soul's truth is. That's completely going to level the first two that you were even thinking of if you were thinking of it from that angle. Because once we typically get stuff, we're kind of like, it didn't really give me what I wanted. It didn't fulfill me. I know a lot of people who have a lot of things, and don't get me wrong, I promote success and abundance and having the things that make you happy. I just got a new mountain bike. It made me happy because I love it, right? So it's not about things. It's about the feeling it gives you and what is the truth in it. All right. And so your soul says, nah, that thing really doesn't make me as happy as I want. That's not what really makes me explode. Your truth knows. Your inner truth knows. Your deservingness knows. Okay. Why? Because we get tripped up on this things. We've been programmed. Things to have, more, bigger, more bad, right, than the rest. If I have more, I'm better than you. When that happens, we get so programmed that that's going to be okay. And this is why we have a lot of anxiety and depression going on, because that's not what makes you happy. They're fun. They're amazing things, but that's not what fills the soul of energy. Okay. So you've been taught for thousands of years to think small. And I'm serious, thousands. that you are small, that you have no power. And again, I have to remind you every call, that's total bullshit. Total. This is the Ironman training of spiritual poverty that is in its greatest spiritual awakening in the last tens of thousands of years has happened. It's so, you guys have to be just in gratitude that you are awake and alive during this time of life, because it is incredibly remarkable and powerful that what's happening. We are in the Ironman of training. Some of you are way advanced. Doesn't make it bad, just you're a good Ironman. You're good at all of the races and you've done it many times and you're really trained and you're ready for it. I've trained a long time for this. So it's not getting to me as much as it is other people. It does sometimes, but not as much. And then there are other people really having meltdowns. That's okay. So okay. Just know that it's the truth inside of you. We have to step into truth. Then what thoughts do we want to create that truth, and the things that will fall in line with it. It doesn't make anything right or wrong. It just using that direction of things, thoughts, and truth are more important than, or I'm sorry, truth, thoughts, and things, as opposed to starting with the things direction. So any one of you just simply want, if you've ever heard of it or watched an Ironman, okay, a race, you can see it looks painful, right? I mean, clearly they don't look like they're having any fun. And so I want you to think of it from that perspective, but they know what they want in the end. They're not giving up on their dream. And that's where we are, each of us right now. Okay. It's okay for these small doses of pain, because pain is what moves you. Pain is what brings your head up. Okay. They're constant reminders of awakening. And if you expect it, I'm prepping you for, I've prepped you this whole last year, you can then ignore it and simply accept it as emotional muscle being constantly growing and growing and growing. That's where I'm trying to get you to grow that emotional muscle, that truth muscle, that deserving muscle. Because the same applies to lifting weights each day, you guys. Each day that your muscles hurt from the next day, then the next day it does it again and again. And the next day you start getting less sore and less sore. It's a sign that your body is growing in strength, right? And so this is where the Earth's current status is of emotional growth. We have been so emotionally shut down that a lot of people are struggling to realize that this is why they've been so miserable and unhappy, because they're not living in their truth. They are not living in their truth. They're not living what makes them happy. They're not living from here. All the other things would appear. A lot of you have not been taught. Your mind has the power to change every wound, every pain, every emotion, every historic event that is epigenetically wired into your system. You have that power, and many of you are not sure what to think, but I know you can feel the energy is weird right now. That's a good word for it. Weird, right? You're tired, you're nervous, you're frustrated. And guess what? You're awake. You're awake. So this weirdness that you are waking up from is your soul's amnesia. It's your soul's superpower. And we all have it. And it is just this one time where I want to grab each and every one of you and just shake you and remind you how powerful you are, and how powerful your minds are, and how powerful that you have the ability to raise the vibration of what you deserve. We have so many people that wake up just on a daily basis. I don't know, that can't be. It can't be that good. Yes, it absolutely can be that good. It's just that you have been programmed for it not to be that good. And that's why. So I'm asking you to blast open your deservingness, okay? So let's talk about the degree of deserving where we're all at. So how do you handle so much polarity right now? That's been coming up. Okay, that's one of the questions. And my answer is you start with you. Because remember, I told you the polarity of good and bad, right and wrong, left and right, freedom and constriction, control. It's all about polarity. Okay. And so I was trying to kind of relate it to myself and how do I handle all this on a daily basis. So I thought, how do I feel when someone is in a low emotional consciousness? And I encounter them, like, and I'm looking at the board here. So someone who is apathetic or in despair or blaming, or they're humiliated about something, or someone else who might be showing up in constant fear and anxiety. Okay. And so when I experience someone in low consciousness and they're in a complete stranger, right? Because this is happening quite a bit. This is all, and I want you to understand why these complete strangers are showing up and they're yelling at me about a mask, all right? Or a health protocol, or they might not be a stranger, but just someone had just met, for not saying the words maybe that they needed to hear, or for projecting their fear and pain onto me. Okay, how do I handle that? And the answer is do I yell back and say, well, you're a zombie asleep, listening to you're not okay media, you're not okay, oh, you're not okay, are you that? Do I yell at them to tell them that? Or do I tell them that they're wrong? Or do I tell them they're stupid for believing paid actors that tell them what to believe? Hurt people, you guys. Say that to yourself. Hurt people are hurting, scared, one of those energies. They hurt people, not intentionally, with their words, with their fear, with their anxiety. And so do I need to do anything? No, I don't. I don't do anything. I just think they are just at the beginning of the swimming portion of the Ironman that I just talked about, right? And they haven't lifted their heads out of the water. They're swimming in their head. They don't even see any of this. So if they're at the swimming portion of the water and they bring their head up all of a sudden, they see me, my light is probably very bright and blinding for them. So internally, we talked about this like months and months and months ago. But I still do this, right? So I internally will send them like a Care Bear. Remember we talked about the Care Bear share? So I send them like Care Bear sonar hearts from my heart, either like internally in my head if they're really just losing it, or verbally, I'll just imagine that love is just shining out from my heart onto them. And I say to them, it's going to be okay. Because that's what they want to know. They're in a very low vibration. Me telling them anything about what they're doing, where they're going, that's not nice. Nor do I want to hurt them or make them feel bad. That's the deservingness where I'm at. I deserve to be at a higher vibration. I don't deserve to be where they're at, but they don't deserve to be made to feel bad for the level of vibration they're at. It's always a test to see if I trust my higher self and my internal courage and love. Always a test. It's always God, always universe, always source testing us. Not a test to see if you'll pass, a test to see if you need more, right? If you need more attention. So I'm like, okay, well, I just need to let them be where they are. That's their consciousness of pain. They need some more spiritual muscle training. And spiritual can be emotional, whatever level it is. It doesn't matter, right? So what do you do now when you are in pain? Okay, hold on. A question's coming in here. Aren't they holding our planet back, though? Really good question just came in. Let me finish my phrase here, and I'm going to go back to her question. A very good question. So what do you do when you are in pain? Okay. So this is what I do. I typically, like I said, I share with you guys kind of what I do just so you can replicate. I always ask myself when pain appears, emotional or physical, why is this really bothering me, or is it a symptom of something else? Okay. And 2, then I ask myself, do I want to ignore it or avoid it? Do I want to habituate it? Or even worse, do I use it to get attention? If you can really dig deep into your soul and ask yourself, when I'm in pain and I'm going to project this energy out to someone else, that's a big thing, because now you're owning it. Now you're in power. Now you're in control. And the question is do I not feel deserving of self-love? because that's when pain shows up. When pain shows up, it means you have not been loving yourself. You have not been filling this soul in. This spiritual, emotional poverty that we've had isn't getting its fill. It's not getting the wounds filled. And you're the only person who can do it. No one else can fill that for you. Okay? And so here's a big question. I want you guys to write this down. What would someone who deserves love and attention do? What would someone who deserves love and attention do if you're in pain? So that question, when I ask it to myself, this will make you guys laugh. So it either irritates me really, like I get super irritated with myself that I've been neglecting myself, or it gives me an immediate answer. Like I know right away what I need to do, what I haven't done. And I'm like, oh, I know what to do now. But I'm not asking myself that, right? What would someone who deserves love and attention do? Pretty basic, right? And so then I go fill myself up, or I validate myself. I want you all to start validating yourself. Validation creates value and truth. Validation creates value. Invalidation creates separateness away from other people. So even just validating one of these people who are having a meltdown on me or around me or whatever the case may be, and I tell them it's going to be okay, I'm validating their vibrational space. Doesn't make it wrong, just where they are. Okay? So if you're going to validate yourself, we want freedom and we want to be open. And so when you validate ourselves, we have to validate others as well. Remember, others owe you nothing. It's an inside job. You have to own you. Okay? Always. And we're going to have this a lot, and then we're going to have a little, a lot, and little. It's going to keep flowing, right? Because none of us are really strangers. That's what the programming is telling you. We're all strangers and we don't like each other. And I'm calling BS on that too. We all want the same thing. We all want connection, and we all want to love each other, and we all want love in return. Period. Everyone wants that. There's not a baby alive that isn't born just yearning for love and connection. It's just the way we're born. And so it's important that many that are not awake, that for us to see that you can take back your power. And this might be your day to just wake up, right? So shining your light on people who are struggling that aren't awake, just shine your light, shine your Care Bearer sonar, send out beautiful light out of you, and then move on to the life you deserve, even if it's in your head. Stop trying to convince others to grow into lighthouses when they're not ready. They will. This is Iron Man consciousness awakening, you guys. And we are all growing our spiritual muscles so that we don't rely on external knowing that isn't ours anymore. Historically, and I'm not changing history, none of that. I'm saying historically, we have generations of family DNA that we've been, that's what I know, that's what I know. What if it was unhealthy DNA? Why are you still playing it in your thoughts and in your soul? There's no reason for it, which is this, again, full moon in Virgo, tripping up all those planets in the square. So this is very new energy for many, and it's going to keep getting better and better. But how do you keep yourself moving and open instead of separated and undeserving? That's where I'm trying to get you guys to move tonight. Okay. So, you know, everybody early, like I started out with, y'all wanting to know, when will it happen? Right now. That's when this is happening. Everything that's happening to you is right now, in this now moment. And so now, right now is when you decide to live the life you deserve and not the program you've been served. Because most of you have been programmed and served some pretty crappy programs from other people. You wouldn't have served that to yourself. Okay. So I'm going to make this simple for you guys of one of the tools I use, and you can use it or not. It sounds so simple, but it really works when I'm kind of, I'm off energetically. I'm feeling off. I feel clumsy. I'm dropping things, or my head is off. When you get stuck in a lower frequency, learning how to allow it to pass like air. And that's kind of hard. And so this is my tool. use it, don't use it. But the tool that I use to move my chakra energy and move it through, I call it the chakra river tool, because it's kind of like I'm pushing a river through me. And so it's intentionally to move energy through you so that you keep it flowing and open. Like I want it to be like a tunnel and a vessel through you. And when you are a completely open vessel, energy can flow through you. You don't get stuck with other people's gunky, mucky stuff. All right. So this is how basic it is. We have all these chakras, and I'm not going to go through the chakras with you, but if you just take your hands and put them on the top of your head like a crown. Okay. So you put the crown on. Okay. And the crown is holding a beautiful ball of energy, and you bring the crown down in front of your forehead and you do your window wipers. Open up the third eye so your energy of your soul can see. So window wipers, then come down to your ears, open the volume so your ears can hear clearly. Hands together, unzip your heart, push back up, turn it down, push down into the core chakra, which is the base of your spine, just down in front of your center, and open up. That's it. So come back to the top, crown, wipers, volume open, pull into the heart, open it up and zip it open. So your heart's open, and push down and push out. That's it. That is where I open up and I bring this crown chakra energy and I flow it through. You have to open up all these energy centers and they get open. And it's that simple, with the intention of opening your energy to flow and saying, I deserve to be open. I deserve to see and heal and open. I want you to start telling your pain, I deserve. So everybody repeat after me. Tap your chest. I deserve, and I'm going to fill in the blank in my life. Okay. I deserve in my life. I deserve health in my life. I deserve wealth in my life. I deserve the love of my life. I deserve to go skiing again in my life. And then let's repeat this, because this is the one that keeps you guys strong and you forget. I am courage. I am love. I am on a mission to fill my life with experiences I deserve. Okay, guys, these can be something simple that you really just want right now, or an intention of something big and huge. I want to build an empire. Build the empire. It's okay. Okay, I ran through all that. Let's see. Oh, we're doing good on time. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I've got questions popping in here, so let me make sure I back up. Okay, so someone asked. Oh, hi. By the way, I just realized who's asking this. She's not supposed to be here. So hi. The question is when I was talking about people who have heavier energy and they're angry and irritated and they're having meltdowns, okay? And her question was, aren't they holding our planet back though? No, they're not. What happens is we're choosing. If you're choosing to be the light, right? If you're choosing to be a lighthouse, and if you're choosing to shine light out, none of you are going to do this perfect. I don't do it perfect. We're just living at a higher vibration of energy. And what happens is your energy is tweaking every time you choose to be in a higher vibration of courage, love, acceptance, willingness, forgiveness, trust, all those things. And when we choose to live in the higher vibration, we are bringing, again, ascending with many others that are there. It may seem like there's a lot more that are heavy, and it's only because you can see them now. They were heavy the whole time. It's just that when we woke up, they were like, wait a minute. I don't want to do this. They will when it's their turn, but there aren't enough of them because we went to a critical mass point where we've all come together and started lighting up the planet. Are there still quite a few? Yes. And they will wake up when they are ready, but you don't have to stay there, okay? And what do you say when doing this? When you're doing this? Oh, what do you say when you're doing the chakra river tool, as I call it, moving the river of energy through? I say nothing. I just say to myself, I'm open. I literally will just be like, I'm blocked. I'm feeling blocked. My intention is to just go, I'm a complete open vessel, and I open the vessel, I open the auditory, I unzip my heart, and I open it. And sometimes I might do it 3 times a day. So I say nothing. You can say anything. You can say, I deserve blank in my life. I deserve to be an open vessel. I deserve to be healed. I deserve to, whatever it is. That's really just an intention of opening the you've got this river of energy flowing through you guys. All your DNA runs your spine. And if you allow it to get blocked, even just the intention of opening it clears it open. So, the back to the first question, which is, no, nobody's going to weigh you down, because we've been weighed down for thousands of years because we weren't light enough. We have too many light workers and lighthouses and people lit up saying, I want more, I want expansion, I want freedom. So we aren't going back. I know it's hard for a lot of people to go, oh, really? But we are not going backwards. We're going forward. If you don't watch TV very much, like I don't ever, you don't even know what's going on, which means I'm constantly in, how do I build? How do I build? How do I go? What's exciting? What are we doing? It will shift if you stay on path to this higher vibration. You are part of the light. You are creating the light. You are creating the ascension on this planet, of helping everyone lift to this higher grid. Okay. Does that help? Okay. Let me just go through the tips real quick tonight. Full moon intentions, if you're doing them, they're in Virgo. So again, health and service. How are you serving not only others, but how are you serving you? Spiritual Ironman. You are in a spiritual awakening training. And if you are not awake, I'm telling you, either need to go research the crap out of it and get awake, or have a little bit of a painful journey like an Ironman. Open your mind to every possibility. When someone shares something with you, open your mind. Okay. What would someone, this was the phrase I gave you earlier, what would someone who deserves love and attention do? What would they do? Some people would just say no to a lot of things and go, like me, read a book. Take some quiet time. The chakra river tool, remember, crown, windshield wiper, volume, unzip your heart, open the entire channel. Okay. And number 5, reset your nervous system daily. I am courage. I am love. When you're nervous, overwhelmed, insecure, anything low on the consciousness scale, this will reset the nervous system. Remember, thymus is a trigger into the emotional immunity center, and it'll trigger the mind. The mind then says wiring into the nervous system. The nervous system then sends the chemicals back into the body. You have to start in the heart. Okay. All right. So tonight's question, and then you guys can ask away more questions. I think let's see. The question is, okay, guys, so imagine it this way, because I'm trying to test all of you, because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm really good. I'm good. Yeah, I got no problems. Like, it's their fault. It's their fault. Okay. So this is where this question's coming from. Like, we're trying to always project our energy out to other people. We're not taking in our own responsibility of deservingness. And I mean self-love deservingness. Okay. What will you serve you from this point forward? So the question is if you are sitting in a chair face to face with God or the universe or source energy, okay, you're up on the grid, you're out in a higher dimension of space, you're sitting in a chair and you're sitting face to face, can you say that you are living the truth that you deserve? What is your first move to fill your well? Because most people, if you were to have a truth talk with source energy who can see everything you're doing, every move you make, every experience you're having, and you're like, yeah, I'm not really doing a good job. Can you be 100% honest and say, yes, I am living my truth. I'm honest with who I am. I'm honest with where I want to go. And it's not about technicalities. I'm not talking about where you go, what you do, where you eat, how you live your life. That's not it. I'm talking about soul truth. Is your soul truth living who you came to be? And again, this is what we're going to talk about in the medicine wheel, healing wheel on Friday. It's there. Your soul knows what it needs to fill in. And if you're not filling in those spots, it's going to be uncomfortable for you. And so if you always ask yourself, if I were to sit face to face with my God, whoever that God is, and had to be honest and nobody knew I was telling the truth, I'd be like, well, I've been lazy over there, and I've been a little bit sidestepping that one. And if you really had to come clean with yourself and say, no, but I am brilliant, I need to go do this, you'd start doing it because it's your truth and it's so valid right now. Okay. Okay. Any questions that I can answer? I have 2 that came in. Let me see. Any other questions on this? No, I'm not seeing any here. Okay. So this question is, why are some things more challenging than others? Why are some things more challenging for some than others? And y'all know this answer, but I think they're trying to talk about like masks. There's someone brought that in, okay? Like masks, because why is singing natural for some and not natural for others? My husband probably says, Dawn, stop singing, but I sing a lot, right? I don't have a singing voice, but I just love to sing. What you are watching right now is not new, but it may be new for you. And that's the best way I can describe this to you guys, okay? So this person just poked in and said, like masks. Why are masks difficult for some people and not for another person? Because what the person it's not difficult for, it's not new for them. This health and healing and taking care of their energy on their own, and they don't need a doctor to heal them. It doesn't scare them. So there's no mask needed. The person who is fearful of getting sick because what could happen and they'll lose their job or they're not able to work, or what if they got someone sick and they don't want to, that's the programming that they're very used to. That's not this waking up and taking their own health and their own wealth and their own power and their own truth into their own hands. It's new for them. They might be making things and very successful at things and houses and businesses and buildings and whatever, but they're not good at truth, their inner truth and their mind, and changing their mind to change the chemistry within, to say, no, I'm healthy and strong. No one will get me. So masks, anything that people are struggling with right now, they're struggling with it because it's new for them, right? And so when someone tells you this is going to be a scary thing, that is new for them. Now, if you've already been through horror and fear and scary things regarding health, what if you've had a death scare? What if you've already seen death's door? You think a mask is going to be a big deal to you? It's not going to be a big deal. So you have to see this separation that's going on. That's why it's difficult and challenging for some people, because certain things have been difficult. Now, some people are afraid of money. Some people, it's not new for them, so they know how to make it or change it or lose it or whatever. Some people, it's about control. And some people, it's new for them, and some people, it's not. So hopefully that helps. If it's new for you, it's going to be more difficult. If it's not new for you and you do a lot of research and you want to learn things, it's hard because they want to be controlling. And so I want you to imagine control freaks who are very mad, and you have to wear a mask, and you have 3 masks, and you have to, they want to control it, right? Well, you've got to remember they're vibrating at the controlling you're not okay TV media that I keep talking about. You're not okay, you're not okay, you're not okay. Well, they're controlling you. And you're saying, I need control too. So as crazy as that sounds, you two are vibrating at the same space. And that's not uncomfortable. That's not comfortable for someone who says, no one's going to control me. I'm going to go live my life the way I want, and no one's going to tell me about my health, wealth, or my mass or anything else. So it's very hard from that angle. And so you see the fear coming out of people when they talk about that stuff, or the fear of being seen, or the fear of not being liked. I sent it to, if you're on my daily IDI text, I think it was last week. I'm pretty sure. I can't keep up with them, but I sent a daily IDI message out that was about that, right? That we have to start taking back our power and control. And so it's hard for people who have given it away too long. That's why it's hard. And it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I know it looks on the outside. If you keep looking at the trash, it'll look trashy. But I promise, spiritually, you are all doing incredible work. You're doing amazing. I'm proud of you. You're growing. You're wanting to shine your light. Stay vibrating higher. When everything fails, use my little tool to open up your river the chakra river tool, or again, keep basic. I am courage. I am love. So I think it is hard when you also didn't think you had given your power away and then you discover otherwise. So a lot of people, this is a good comment as well. A lot of people don't realize they gave their power away. A lot of people have not realized that this is the Ironman portion of swimming. Like, okay, I'm going to do this, but now once I put my head up from swimming, I'm in pain. This is uncomfortable. I didn't realize I gave my power to all this other area. And now I have to step back and go, I'm going to be uncomfortable for a while, but I'm going to work towards what I want, what I deserve. Deservingness. Okay. You serve it to yourself. No one's going to serve it to you but you. Okay. All right, guys. Really quick update. Zodiac wheel is the medicine wheel. It's this Friday. If you want in, if you already have, you might already have your chart. So it's an easy sign up for you. So you can sign up the last day if you have your chart. If you don't have your chart, I need 24 hours. So at least get in, you need to get in by Thursday, February 26th, this February, 6 to 9, 3 hours. We're going to discuss for about 2 hours, hour and a half, hour and 10 minutes each, about the hot spots and how to use them on your chart to figure out where the medicine is on your wheel. Because when you fill in those spots, it's like medicine, and it's healing, and it's cathartic, and it brings you back into power. And so how do we sign up? If you go to my website, ideserveitnow.com, and go to events, it's right there. Zodiac Wheels, your medicine wheel. Just sign up. It will send you an email where to register, and you'll get updates, and you will be given a text message reminder that will be asking you for your birth info. That is a private message, so no one can see it, not even in the email message. It'll be direct to me. So I'll send you your chart, and you'll print it. And there are several other forms to print off of that email. And we're going to talk about all your charts. Now, depending on how many people sign up, I will be pulling your charts up personally on this class, and I'll go through them with you and help you to discover where it is you get stuck and how to fill it in, because we typically are resistors. I don't want it. I don't want it. And you guys are in a spiritual Ironman right now, so you can't avoid it. So if I show you where your weak spots are, I'm going to have you fill those in. That way you can be ahead of the game. That way you don't take life personal, and that way you're prepped. This is about to get good stuff, and I love it. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I love you. I wish you all brightest blessings. Text or email me if you need anything further from this point. I will see you on Monday. You guys have a great night.